make sure we get all the way through this. State. What? We what? Is the true proportion of females aged 40 to 44. I probably should have said word for word what I said. What? More specific. That's not my full population yet. At what? You need something about the fact that it's not just females 40 to 44 in general. That whole top section that I said, a lot of it was kind of useless. The only thing it did is said, hey, everybody that we're dealing with were patients at this HMO. And then, what were you saying I need after that? So my population is females in the 40 to 44 age group at this particular HMO. My success would be contracted the illness. And then how do I finish this part? It said that only in the top part, not the bottom, right? I'm trying to get people to, where was it that it just said, like, because in the very bottom part, in part A, it didn't say in the past year, right? It only said it up at the top with the HMO part with, I'm trying to figure out where it exactly was. Oh, the second sentence. So, contracted the illness in the past year. So that was a specific thing. Okay, and then how do I finish the sentence? Okay, plan. What is my method? To say one sample, because we are dealing with proportions, it is definitely, and we are constructing and it is 4. This is where it's really beneficial for you to grade somebody else's, because I'd count off more than anything one word here and there that get missed. And if you're grading your own, you're not going to pay attention to that. So make sure that you're looking at somebody else's for every single word. What's next? Check conditions, random. What does it actually say? You need to say state a random sample, but you also need in parentheses. What's my next condition? There is only one option for how to check normal because it is proportions. You cannot use central limit theorem. You cannot use any of the other things for mean. So I have to be checking n times p hat. Well, here, n times p hat would give me what? And how did I get that? My 10% of 370. So out of the 370, if 37 were success, that would leave me with how many for failures? 3 what? And then so you would need to write out in context. Remember here we're referencing the sample, not the population. So there are at least 10. If I started going ahead and talking about it here, I would say, what are my individuals? And again, technically it should be. Now, just for a side note, if you didn't write it in state and you didn't write it in this part, I would only count off for it once. Like I would make sure that your answer here matched what you said before. So, I mean, I'd still write it in there for theirs, but I wouldn't cut off for it twice. There are at least 10 females in the 40 to 44 age group at this particular HMO that and it'll be did and did not what? And again, in the past year, if they forgot the first time, obviously they're going to forget it again. That's fine. And what do they have to have after that? All right, now what? Which is make sure they actually wrote out 10% condition. My general equation thing is what? Capital N is and so our N here was 370. This should be 3,700. And we would say there are, or assuming there are, one of the two, at least 3,700 what? So again, reminding you, normal condition here applies to sample. Did I ever say that up here? Nope. I talked about it, no, I didn't finish writing it. There are at least 10 females in the 40 to 44 age group at this particular HMO. What should be written right here after that? Or in this study? Because you have to differentiate between population and sample there. In this study, of the 370, somehow talk about sample versus population in that section. Anybody still looking at this page, or can I go ahead and go to the next one? All right, so this one directly gave me p hat, which was what? My N was, what confidence level is this one? And that gave me a Z of so p hat plus or minus Z star square root of p hat 1 minus p hat over N. Plugging in my numbers. What has to go here? P. What do I get as my lower bound?
0.694.
0.694. And then what's my upper bound?
1306.
1306. So your conclude is we are 95% confident that P, the true proportion of females don't pack up yet. There's another big one we still have to go over. What? At part B is not the same as part A. Part B is basically saying throw in the hula hoops. So does part B want any of the numbers from like specifics like p hat and confidence interval? No. Part B starts with what? 95% of all possible samples of in the 40 to 44 age group, this particular HMO, all possible samples of that. What? What? Same thing you just said. That includes, and then the same thing we've been saying. All right, wait, hang on. Hey, now listen real quick. Listen. This problem is going to be about, or at least probably 20% of your test grade. How many, which is the same as chapter 7. How many 4 steps do you expect to see? 2. Why 2? And we have 3 technical options. One of them is going to be a mean, one of them is a proportion. You just don't know if it's Z or T.